back, everyone, to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 344. We've come a long way, right? And today's topic is Random Acts of Kindness 2. The other day, we'd had a chance to listen to what Kelly and Gareth had to say. Today, we'll listen to stories shared by Martin and Mary. So if you did not tune in and watch or catch our previous Part 1 episode of Random Acts of Kindness, here's a quick description of what a random act of kindness is. Random. Something that isn't exactly regular, something that isn't exactly expected, okay? So it's something random, something that could happen at certain times, and at certain times may not even happen. But acts of kindness, we're talking about nice things people do for other people, simply put. That is an easy way of putting it. So a random act of kindness is, simply put, nice things we do for other people. And we don't expect anything from them in return. We just do it because we want to be kind. Okay? All right, with that idea in mind, let's get started. Here's our first segment, Actual Talk.
So I got into a taxi yesterday, and there was a wallet in the back seat. And I opened up the wallet. I think there was only like 30,000 won in it, but there was the ID, luckily. And on the ID, it said the address of an apartment complex that was right near where I was going later. And so after I finished my next job, I went and delivered the wallet to this person, and they seemed so happy. And I told the story to a friend, and a friend's like, oh my gosh, you're so nice, you're so kind. You should have at least just taken the money, or at least covered your taxi fare to get there.
Wow.
But I thought about it, and part of it maybe was me being nice, but it feels good to do those things. It feels good to do just some random act of kindness.
Yeah, I think it's really important in life. It's something that helps us feel good about ourselves. But obviously, the main purpose is to help somebody else. But in terms of like altruistic events, are we doing things just for the good of ourselves?
Right.
Or are we trying to help other people? It's a random act of kindness.
Yeah.
But I think everybody benefits from that act.
Kind of like feeds my ego.
Yeah.
I'm a good person.
Yeah.
I return wallets when I find them. But in the end, whether there's such thing as a pure altruistic act, or whether every act of altruism has some sort of ego-filling purpose, I don't think it really matters.
No.
For like paying it forward, random acts of kindness,
Yeah.
I think they're good.
Yeah.
And the fact that they make you feel good it motivates you to do it.
Yeah,
So-
certainly. Paying it forward is a really good point, actually. I was in New Zealand years ago, and somebody picked me up. I was hitchhiking on the side of the road, picked me up, got me a house. I found a job that evening, and it was all because of a random act of kindness, of just being nice to each other and helping
Right.
the world move as a circle. I thought it was really kind.
Feels good.
It does.
Did you listen carefully to the conversation between Martin and Mary? And they were talking about the things they did for other people. And of course, Martin even shared a story about how somebody did something for him, helped him out. He was hitchhiking, so that was sometime when he was in New Zealand, I believe. Let's go over what they mentioned then. Okay, here we go. First of all, Mary began by saying how she got into a taxi yesterday. So this happened very recently. I got into a taxi, meaning she jumped into a taxi. She rode a taxi. She took a taxi yesterday, and there was a wallet on the back seat. What is a wallet? I'm sure people now know the difference between a wallet and a purse. But up until maybe even 5 years ago, people were misusing these words. A few people, not many people, but I heard some people explaining that a wallet was something very small and a purse was close to a wallet. Now, keep in mind that a wallet is something used by both men and women, okay? Wallets do come in different sizes, but usually wallets are what we use to put money in, to carry money around, okay? A purse is something that women carry around, okay, like a handbag. Handbags are usually big or bigger than purses. Purses are usually smaller in size. Something for women. Wallets are for women and men, where we usually put our money in there, cash and credit cards. Got it? Anyhow, she got into a taxi and she found a wallet on the back seat or in the back seat. Both are used. I opened up the wallet. I think there was only like 30,000 won in it. So what did she do? She opened up the wallet to see, okay, and she found 30,000 won in the wallet. But there was the ID, luckily, identification card, and on the ID it said the address of an apartment complex that was right near where I was going later. So yeah, I guess the person that lost this wallet was very lucky. She says, there was the ID, luckily, fortunately, and on the ID it said the address. Okay, we went over this. Address or address, when it's used in the noun form, when we're talking about the building, or the address of a building, okay, or of somebody's home, 주소, it's used in the noun form and is often pronounced two ways, address or address. But if it's used in the verb form, it means, if it's used in the verb form, it means to what? Discuss something, okay? And it's only address, not address. And here, there was the address or address of an apartment complex that was right near, meaning close to where she was going to later on. Complex. What is an apartment complex? We see many apartment complexes across cities and almost all over Korea, right? Okay. An apartment building is one single apartment building. A complex is like, I guess, all these apartments put together, gathered together. But we're talking about one type of apartment as a group. So complex means that it is interconnected. Okay, it's a related part. They're somehow related. 단지, 아파트 단지 would be apartment complex. Something can also be complex. Okay, the stress goes on the second syllable, complex. In that case, it means that it is difficult. Okay, anyhow, here we're talking about an apartment complex. There was the address. So after I finished my next job, after she finished or completed her next job, she says, I went and delivered the wallet to this person. And they seemed so happy. All right. So, yeah, that was a good thing to do, a very kind thing to do. She took her time to travel to this person's home just to return the wallet. So she went to this person's house, the apartment complex, delivered the wallet to this person, and they seemed so happy. They, why? She gave the wallet to a person, this person, but they seemed so happy. That's perhaps because this person that received the wallet from Mary was probably with somebody else. Okay? That's why she's saying they seem so happy. Anyhow, moving on. I told this story to a friend, and the friend was like, meaning the friend said, oh my gosh, you're so kind, you're so nice. You should have at least just taken the money, or at least covered your taxi fare to get there. Okay, so this is what her friend said to her. What would you say in a situation like this? If Mary had told me that she had done this, I would have said, you know what? Hey, good job. You know, this person was lucky that you found his or her wallet. But her friend was like, hey, you should have taken some money, you know, or you should have at least used the money in the wallet to cover the taxi fare. Taxi fare, we have to pay, of course, when we take a taxi. But what is to cover, okay? When we get in a car accident, for example, we can have our insurance company cover the damages. In that case, the insurance company is covering the damages, meaning paying for the damages. Okay? So here, cover taxi fare means to pay the taxi fare. Okay? It means to deal with something, take care of something. So that's what her friend said. You should have taken the money or at least spent some of that money, used some of that money to pay for the taxi. But I thought about it and it feels good to do those things, Mary says. It feels good to do just some random act of kindness. Here we go. It feels good to what? To do some random act of kindness. That is our topic for today. It feels good to be kind to others, right? Okay, and here we go. Martin says, yeah, I think it's really important in life that we do. It's something that helps us feel good about ourselves. Feel good about ourselves. Yes. But obviously, the main purpose, okay, the main purpose is to help somebody else. He's made a point. Of course, random acts of kindness. When you do something nice for somebody, okay, when you help somebody out, it makes you feel good, right? It makes you feel warm and nice and feel good. But more importantly, you're helping somebody out. So you're making that person very happy as well. And that's more important. That's what he's saying. In terms of altruistic events, okay, we're talking about events, but what kind of events? Altruistic events. This may be a tricky word. We'll go over some synonyms later on as well. But when you say altruistic, we're talking about events in this case. Events that show your concern, okay? How you care for others. How you care for others' welfare. How you care for other people's happiness. It's that concern for others, okay? So in terms of altruistic events, are we doing things just for the good of ourselves? Are we doing things for ourselves? Or are we trying to help other people? You know? Why are we doing these things? It's a random act of kindness, but I think everybody benefits from that act. Okay? Everybody benefits from something. Basically meaning everybody earns something. Everybody gains something from that, okay? From that act. Now this is just a way of doing something, okay? An act of kindness. So he's saying it's not just for yourself, it's not only for that person, it's for everybody. Everybody will benefit from it. Everybody will gain something from it. And here we go, Mary's saying, it kind of feeds my ego. Here we go, that's an idiom. Feed one's ego. What does that mean? Feed, okay? We could feed ourselves. We could feed our dog. We could feed the birds, for example, okay? Give food to, okay? But you're feeding your ego. So to feed one's ego means to make somebody feel good about himself or herself. So if you say that something feeds your ego, say for example, it feeds my ego, I mean to say it makes me feel good about myself, okay? So it kind of feeds my ego, she says. I'm a good person. I return wallets when I find them. This is what she would tell herself and feel good about it. So, I'm a good person. Yeah, Mary, you're a good person. You return wallets when you find them. Good job. Okay? Nice job, Mary. That's what she's saying. It feeds her ego, makes her feel good about herself. Now, but in the end, whether there is such a thing as a pure altruistic act, okay, something you do just for others because you want to, or whether every act of altruism has some sort of ego-filling purpose. She says, I don't think it really matters. Those things don't matter. What matters is that you help somebody and everybody's happy with it, okay? So ego-filling, something that fills your ego, meaning something that makes you feel good about yourself. You know, it doesn't really matter, okay? It doesn't really matter. Paying it forward, here's another pattern for today, an idiom, or random acts of kindness. I think they're good. Paying something forward basically means to, let's say, respond to somebody else's kindness. Okay, it basically means to return somebody's kindness. If somebody does something nice for you, you do something nice back to that person. That is paying it forward. We're not talking about giving money. No, we're talking about acting a certain way, helping others, okay, paying it forward. You're doing something for another person, okay? So paying it forward or random acts of kindness, our topic, they're good. And the fact that they make you feel good, and it motivates you to do it. So what motivates you to do it? Basically, we're saying that something really encourages you. It stimulates you. It makes you do something. It gives you the energy to do something. Something motivates you to do something. So she's saying the fact that they make you feel good motivates you to do it. It helps you to do it. It encourages you to do it. Okay? That good feeling. And let's move on to the final part of the conversation. Martin says, certainly. Paying it forward is a really good point. Oh, we missed that. A good point. Okay? It's a good point. I was in New Zealand years ago. Here we go. We're talking about when he was in New Zealand years ago, and somebody picked me up, perhaps in their car, and he explains in more detail. I was hitchhiking on the side of the road. When you're hitchhiking, you're doing what? Okay, often we see in movies, maybe even drama series. You're out in the open. Not many cars. You're alone. You're trying to get somewhere, but you don't have a car. There isn't a ride, so you stand on the side of the road and you do this when a car passes by, okay? Means pick me up, give me a ride. So you often catch a random driver, stop a random driver and ask them for a free ride to a certain destination. That's hitchhiking, okay? Hitchhiking. So he says, I was hitchhiking on the side of the road. Let's move on. I found a job that evening. So he found a job that evening, and it was all because of a random act of kindness. Okay, all because of that. Just being nice to each other and helping the world move as a circle. Why did he say move as a circle? Helping the world move as a circle? I guess this could mean to rotate, to keep going, but also it means to help others in return. Okay, do something nice for this person, and in return, this person will do something nice for another person. Anyhow, moving on, I thought it was really kind, and of course, finally, once again, Mary talks about how it makes you feel good. Okay, that's the point, I guess. Making people feel good. And, of course, making yourself feel good about yourself as well. Let's take a listen one more time.
So I got into a taxi yesterday, and there's a wallet in the back seat. And I opened up the wallet. I think there was only like 30,000 won in it. But there was the ID, luckily. And on the ID, it said the address of an apartment complex that was right near where I was going later. And so after I finished my next job, I went and delivered the wallet to this person, and they seemed so happy. And I told the story to a friend, and a friend's like, oh my gosh, you're so nice, you're so kind. You should have at least just taken the money, or at least covered your taxi fare to get there.
Wow.
But I thought about it, and part of it maybe was me being nice, but it feels good to do those things. It feels good to do just some random act of kindness.
Yeah, I think it's really important in life. It's something that helps us feel good about ourselves. But obviously, the main purpose is to help somebody else. But in terms of like altruistic events, are we doing things just for the good of ourselves,
right,
or are we trying to help other people? It's a random act of kindness, but I think everybody benefits from that act.
Kind of like feeds my ego.
Yeah.
I'm a good person.
Yeah.
I return wallets when I find them. But in the end, whether there's such thing as a pure altruistic act, or whether every act of altruism has some sort of ego-filling purpose, I don't think it really matters.
No.
for like paying it forward, random acts of kindness,
Yeah.
I think they're good.
Yeah.
And the fact that they make you feel good it motivates you to do it.
Yeah,
So-
certainly. Paying it forward is a really good point, actually. I was in New Zealand years ago, and somebody picked me up. I was hitchhiking on the side of the road, picked me up, got me a house. I found a job that evening, and it was all because of a random act of kindness, of just being nice to each other and helping
Right.
the world move as a circle. I thought it was really kind.
Feels good.
It does.
Welcome back. It's time for actual expressions. Let's quickly go through the vocab words and then practice our patterns for today. Complex. Here we go. Complex. First syllable, stress. So it's obviously a noun, complex. We're talking about a network of something, how some things are interconnected. We can talk about a structure or a system. Today we talked about apartment complexes. Cover. Cover as a verb means to what? Compensate, ensure, balance, offset, compensate for something. Okay? To take care of or to pay for something. Altruistic. Here we go. Stress goes right here. Let's practice how to pronounce this word 3 times. Altruistic. Altruistic. One more time. Altruistic. Stress goes there. And we're talking about what? All these words here are great synonyms. Charitable is a good one. So we're talking about unselfish concerns for others' happiness and their welfare. Unselfish is the point. Moving on to act. Just a way of doing things, okay? Action, performance, operation, deed is a good synonym as well. Motivate. Okay, here we go. Motivate. Motivate. We often talk about motivation as well. So, we can talk about how something inspires you or encourages you to do something. How something stimulates you to do something. Stimulates your interest in doing something. Okay, feed one's ego. You're feeding something, giving something or somebody food. You're giving your ego food. Feed one's ego means to make yourself feel good about yourself. Here we go. I love to go to the animal shelter and volunteer. Why? Because I think it helps feed my ego when I have a bad day. Not even. Just feeds your ego. Just makes you feel good about yourself. Feel proud about yourself. Doing something nice. Okay? So that's how you could use feed one's ego in a sentence. What about to pay something forward? In today's actual talk, it was pay it forward. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. It means to return somebody's, act of kindness to somebody else. So let's say I am B, A is here, and C is here. A does something nice to me, okay? But instead of returning that favor to A, I do something nice for C, another person, okay? That is paying it forward. So here's a sentence. I will take the support I have received from the people I love and try to pay it forward whenever I can. So we're talking about taking the support you receive from people you love. That's A. What are you going to do? You're going to pay it forward to whom? To C, whenever I can. Not back to A, but to other people. Okay? Now you got the idea? Job well done.